I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 yet. What would you think?
I think that you're a cinematic idiot, and I feel sorry for you.
All right. Why?
Because it's a brilliant film. It's so funny and violent, and the soundtrack kicks fucking ass. I never thought I'd say this, but can I go work now?
Welcome to another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, Lou Motional Lou, all up in your ear for another episode. What's going on, fellas? Everybody doing all right?
Hell yes,
sir.
Woo!
Sounds great. We are back.
We are back, yes. And I just need formalities. Who's back? Who's back? Who's here? To my left, please. Can we let me know, please? To my left?
I'm sorry, my name is Jeremy Sanchez, aka Germs the Lion, and I'm using my AM radio voice.
I like that Light FM radio on the podcast of watching movies. That's awesome. Welcome back to the show, Germs. Even though this is your first movie watching experience and podcast after watching movie experience.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you've been in Real Talk Rants. That's what you've been doing.
Yes, I have.
Yes, fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
All
Feel
right.
nice.
Yeah, I'm sure you're feeling very nice.
Mr. O gave me several shots of soju. I lost count how many.
Who else we got? Who's here?
Outrageous. Oh, I'm back.
Outrageous O, man. Welcome back, man.
Thank you.
Yes, man. Awesome. Who else?
We already know who this is.
Yes.
It's the not so good looking John without his bag over the face.
No, yeah, for now, because we are not televised
yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Without his facial hair.
This is not a televised show just yet.
Also without the
I
facial
have to
hair.
mention that.
Yep.
I miss
I
Negan.
broke the rule for no shave-ember.
You did.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone have a very good holiday season?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Well, mine was spectacularly mediocre, and I enjoyed it.
Because I'm just trying to let you guys realize is that if I'm correct, this episode will be airing either on the Christmas week or after.
Oh, so let me predict the future and say my Christmas was grand.
Yes, woo! A little bit before New Year's, of course. So we're still enjoying the holiday season. One person that's joined us, just like I said, into the movie watching experience and then talking after the movie, which is what is the basis of what the show What the Hell Did We Just Watch comes from. And the first film that Jeremy has been, Germs the Lion, has been able to accompany us was the movie, can you tell us what the title of the name was?
Bringing Out the Dead?
Bringing Out the Dead.
Mm-hmm. I remembered.
I remembered. Yeah, I told you I was going to remember. Once I asked you, you're going to be like, oh, shit, I did the reading. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that part did happen.
Besides the soju.
Exactly.
Now, real quick, what's awesome about this film is that it is a non-traditional Martin Scorsese film. And what I mean by non-traditional is that I'm pretty sure everybody in this group is only know Martin Scorsese for his gangster films.
Yes.
You know, am I right? Is it true?
Yeah, definitely
Right.
so.
Yeah. All right. So, without further ado,
Examples of his movies?
The Goodfellas.
No,
Goodfellas.
Besides Goodfellas.
Casino.
Okay.
Oh, he did do Casino.
Yes,
okay.
he did. He is known for mostly for his gangster films, and then he's done other that are popular as well that are not gangster
That's
films.
what I'm like examples.
The Aviator,
Okay.
Shutter Island,
All right. He
Bringing
did
Out
do
the Dead,
Shutter, yeah.
Taxi Driver.
Bringing Out the Dead, yeah.
You ever
Oh,
seen?
he
was
did do Taxi
Taxi Driver. If I don't want to say it was his first, it's not his first film, but it was his first like
Breakout.
Like people was just like, yo,
That's the
gotta
De
pay
Niro
attention
movie,
to this
right?
guy. Yes, that is with De Niro. He also did very big number of movies. A movie called Mean Streets. Another one where De Niro plays a boxer. The film's in black and white, and I'm drawing a blank on why this
So
movie.
he's mostly known
Is that
for his
Raging
Robert
Bull
De
you're
Niro
talking about?
movies.
Raging Bull. Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly the movie that I'm talking about. Scorsese has done a lot more films than a lot of people think. He's
And
actually
all of them starred Robert De Niro.
yes, until he was not able to star anymore, and then he became Leonardo DiCaprio because he starred with. He also did The Departed.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that's
He also
right.
did Gangs of New York.
Oh yeah.
He
Martin
did do-
Scorsese did all these
man.
films.
All right.
He also did Mallrats.
Oh no.
That is pretty funny. No, unfortunately, he did not star in that movie or direct it. But yes, so that's just to name a couple of his non-mafia movies. He's actually known to the mafia movies are kind of like an in joke for his films. He does that to bring in some money so he can make the real movies he wants to make.
Okay.
You know, because he actually comes from a long line of independent filmmaking.
yeah.
You know, even though he's very Hollywood now, but he knows how to. That's a man that just knows how to manipulate the system to make the films that he wants.
It's crazy how he doesn't even care about these mobster movies, like as if he really wanted to do them. But
Yeah.
then, like you said, he uses them to get in the money, but
Yeah.
doesn't even realize how much of effect that his audience members has from those movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like for example, if you're saying that Goodfellas was one of those movies,
Yes.
Goodfellas happens to be one of the best mobster
Agreed.
movies
Agreed.
ever.
Also, his last name, Scorsese, to me, it sounds like a mob boss, you know?
Yeah, you can say that. He's a guy. Look, because one thing I do like about Scorsese, though there is like this thing, just like I said, how he uses his movies, his most popular movies, which are the gangster movies, to make the films that he wants to make as an artist. You know what I mean? That it doesn't mean that he doesn't put that equal love into his work. You could tell that even in Goodfellas, it's just as quality work as I believe that's in Bringing Out the Dead. But before we get into that, I would like to know what everybody's opinion was about the film. So, Jeremy, please take it away. What did you think? In just a little short summary, Bringing Out the Dead, how'd you feel?
I think the movie was definitely entertaining, and it made me, you know, I was paying attention throughout the whole thing. I think about halfway through the movie, it kind of, to me, it just changed directions. It went in a completely different way than you would expect the movie to go.
Yeah, that's and we'll get to that because I did put a little memorandum in my brain to say I'm going to go back. I'm definitely going to ask you that question when we get into it just a little bit while longer. But Outrageous O, can you please tell me what did you think of Bringing Out the Dead?
Definitely, I think it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, pretty much what Germs of Lion said. It started a little bit slow for me in the beginning, and then once it picked up, I was like, okay, wow, you got my attention.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like kids mixed with like paramedics. Like,
yeah, you could say that kids.
That's the
That's
best way
a
to
pretty
put it.
fucking cool. That's a cool way to put it. I'm gonna
that
ask
was
you
the best way to
why'd
put
you
it.
think that in a little while, but not so good looking, John. Please don't ugly up my mic. Just please tell me what you think of Bringing Out the Dead.
What about your mic?
I don't want you to ugly up my mic. Just please tell us, man. Please. I need to know.
No, it's I don't want to say it was my best choice definitely for one of his movies. You
Okay.
know, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say I loved it.
You would not say you loved it? Is that what you said?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't say I loved it. I
Okay.
would say like it's a good movie, but just
Yeah.
something I wouldn't go out of my way to watch ever.
Okay.
again.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Probably like a 6.
Oh wow, that low. Though.
yeah, 'cause
Okay.
you're straight edge.
I got you there, man.
No, it's not even that. No, it has
No,
nothing to
because
do with
I
being
was
straight
just-
edge.
yeah,
It's
I
just
was-
like
Well, John didn't have any soju tonight, so.
no, I didn't have any soju, but like
That's very
Well,
interesting.
I'll touch
yeah.
bases on-
That's very interesting. So this is a solid 6 for you. Solid. Wait, real quick. Solid 6, or is it just like a weak 6, maybe almost a 5 or something, or more like a 6 that it could have been a 7.
a 6 leaning towards 7.
Okay, cool. So it's more positive 6
Yeah.
than a negative 6.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah.
6.8 to be exact.
Jesus Christ. What do you think, Santi? I know this is out of your norm. I know you've never seen movies like
Yeah,
this.
it wasn't anime. So
And if it wasn't, it wasn't
wasn't
anime.
anime.
So I would like to know, what do you think of this movie?
At first I didn't like it, but towards the end I started liking it. It was like boring to me at first.
Okay.
But then as time progresses in the movie, it starts.
Yeah. What part of not what part, but like, can you say like when it was that the movie changed for you that you say, yo, this is actually pretty good? Was it like in the middle, a little bit before the middle, somewhere around the middle? Was he when he was riding with Ving Rhames, the black dude?
Yeah.
Is that when it was?
Yeah,
that,
that's when it all picked up.
That's when it picked up for you?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where it all picked up.
Okay. All right. So Bringing Out the Dead. For me, I love this film. I saw it in the theaters in 1999.
Wow.
It was the first time I actually saw that. Holy shit, Martin Scorsese does other movies than gangster movies. You know what I mean? Because like I said, he's mostly known for that. I had not watched Taxi Driver yet in my life. We're talking about 20-year-old me. You know what I mean? I saw his movie and I was just like, holy shit, man, he makes movies like this? And that was 1999 was definitive of it. If you have heard my past 3 episodes about 1999, it was the year that actually turned me into the film watcher or film, that I am now to this day in terms of like seeing quality stuff.
I wouldn't know that because I wasn't invited to those.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know you then. How old were you in 1999?
It doesn't matter how old I was in 1999. Just
But you were invited to the show, or you were not
I
invited?
wasn't invited to the show.
I'm sorry, not so good looking John.
I wasn't invited to the show. I'm always on your show.
Yes, and I miss you dearly. You're definitely one of the people that I miss all the
Probably
time.
like, what the hell? Where's not so good looking John?
You know what? I want people to comment and tell me, did you miss not so good looking John in these
They'd
past
probably
couple
say
episodes?
no. Most likely no. But at the
I want them to most likely no. I want them to say yes, but they probably didn't. What do you think? Did anybody miss in any of the past episodes not so good looking John?
I hate the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live across from him.
Comment, hate, share, whatever you want to do. Let me know what you think about
I'm kidding. He's
not so good looking John not being on my show. But you know, this was like I said, this was
Sandman,
like
go get the bat.
yeah, sorry. But it's like I said, this was the year that I started changing as a film watcher. I wanted to be more serious into my filmmaking kind of lifestyle that I was like giving birth to at the time, my 20-year-old self. And this movie just like really, really opened my eyes. And I'm just gonna give you like the most general answer on why, and it was the realism of New York City. And what I mean by the realism of New York City is that if you've been out, way past your bedtime in this, you see that those things that he sees, these half dead souls, as what he liked to, how he described them, those people that are in the streets smoking.
I think maybe. When you first watch the movie, it says it takes place in the early 90s.
Yes.
I don't think it was like that in the early 90s. I don't remember that in the early 90s. Maybe it's
You were too young in the early 90s to hang out.
No, I still remember, my mom.
No, but you were past. That's way past your bedtime.
What? My mom was Puerto Rican. She took me out. I got home at like fucking midnight.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think maybe from what I've read and seen in other like videos and documentaries, maybe closer to like the mid 80s.
Yeah.
It seemed more like.
No, I mean, it was a little bit more cleaned up, but there were still those people like laying on cardboard for to the bed, like living in subways and shit like that. Though they didn't go to subway, but these people exist. These kinds of like Scorsese's from New York, so like when he showed these things,
He would know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not saying that he was exactly 100% to the T. He did glamorize a lot, but like those kind of, like every time he kind of looked out the window and kind of saw New York, and describing it.
Don't you think that it, from his point of view, like Nicolas Cage's point of view, when he's looking outside, while they're driving, don't you think it was maybe a little bit more exaggerated because it was seeing it through his eyes?
Yeah, because he's seeing he is a man, because this is the thing with Nicolas Cage's character. He's an EMT who's kind of like literally in the rut. Like he's seeing these things maybe because he's missing sleep, being an alcoholic. Things have become kind of surreal to him.
Right.
He wasn't even eating.
Yeah, he wasn't eating, so he's like literally in a state of like delusional, but he's also not seeing anything fake when he's looking out that window. Like I said, like here's some of the real things that he saw. People sleeping in the street, people smoking crack, in a corner, like in a tucked away corner, smoking crack, getting high. The one of my favorite ones is when two guys are fighting and the girlfriend's yelling out, "Kick the shit out of him, baby!" Yeah, like you gonna tell me you ain't see some shit like that in the city? I mean, I don't know, but it's there. It's
actually,
there.
You're right, because I'm looking up right now. New York has actually been clean until Mayor Giuliani took in power.
Exactly, which was later. This is supposed to be like kind of early 90s. It did say it in the movie,
like
it's
92.
early 90s. Yeah, like let's say 90 to 95. It's in that kind of like vicinity of years. And it was dirty still. You know what I mean? It wasn't as dirty as 80s dirty, but it did clean up. Right. This is way before Santi's time, so he don't know what the fuck we're talking about. You know what I mean? But yeah, like
the 90s?
Yeah. What's the 90s? Did that happen? But what did you think of that New York that he was seeing? We're New Yorkers.
Yeah, I know.
And we come from different places in New York.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
remember. Yeah, no, I mean, I've lived my whole life. I've lived.
Well, have you seen creepy people at night?
I have.
Yeah.
It's not exaggerated, but I mean, I get it. This was a different time, a different era. I do remember. I do remember a lot from the early '90s, and like I said, it wasn't really that that exaggerated as it is. But I can see where he's coming from, and I can see, Scorsese's probably he's trying to write a film about the New York he remembers.
Yeah.
And
just kind of like melting it in their melting pot.
I can see where it's not too far off.
Yeah.
It is a little exaggerated.
I'll give you a little trivia. This movie is actually based on a book. It's based on a book on an EMT guy. is based on a book of his personal experiences being one.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's like
I was actually gonna bring up something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of felt the way that it was so exaggerated. I kind of felt like Nicolas Cage's character was loosely based off of, because they say
you kind of feel that, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels kind of accurate in terms of like
Exactly. It
the
seems-
experience of
it
being
seems
one.
like the way it was written, it seems more personal than just
Than just a random movie about some EMTs running around the city.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Rageous O? What do you think about the New York that he kept seeing outside his window? Like those scenes when he would just be like looking outside the window when he wasn't driving, or even when he was driving.
Well, to me, to see that New York at that time, I wasn't alive.
Mhm.
Then. I was
Or you were a very small child.
86, born in 86. And then growing up, all I remember was, you did see the junkies and the cardboard boxes, that type of thing, but not to that extreme level.
Yeah.
So to watch that and then remember stories from my father and mother, like when they said when they came to Brooklyn, that was like in the 70s, and they said that they had the zombies and the junkies and
he
the
was
cops.
talking about those people. He called them that,
and that is true.
like the half dead people is what he called them. Like they're just kind of like running on autopilot in the middle of the night.
From stemming off of what O said, that's exactly how I kind of viewed it. So from what I've seen, it kind of matches up more so with the New York that my mom explained to me about like the early 80s, mid 80s and stuff. So.
And there was boarded up. I remember from my father said there was boarded up buildings. There was things were closed down, and people were getting rounded up and thrown to the hospital, and they get released an hour. He told me that. I was like, wow. That's when I saw that. I was thinking that. I was like, that's great.
What do you think, John?
I agree with Oscar from what I heard, because I've never experienced it myself.
Okay.
But my parents would tell me. Well, actually, my dad would tell me that pretty much what Oscar said, but he experienced it in the 60s, like around the late 60s, early 70s.
So, like in a way, so you can actually all honestly say real quick, Santi, what do you think about that? What do you think about that New York? Did that New York seem real or fake to you, not being a part of that stuff?
I mean, it seemed pretty real to me because New York isn't. All right, let's take that pause real quick. I mean, it seemed pretty real to me because New York City isn't pretty.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're gonna have your junkies or your.
But I know for a fact that you've never stayed up so late that you're seeing things like that.
No, I haven't.
We're seeing people sleep on cardboard boxes.
I've seen that before.
They make their little houses. Have you ever seen that? I've seen that. I actually still see it to this day. I mean, I don't know, 2016.
Unless you
make a fortress of boxes.
Yeah.
Not unless you actually stay up late enough to watch Hunt's
know-
Point. On
Oh yeah. And actually,
Now
that we bring this up, I think it's time that he's about the right age that we take him out.
So I go to Hunts Point, Bronx.
Through
Let's go manhunting. Let's go ahead.
You ever seen Scared Straight? It's time to do it.
You know what I want to do with Santi? I want us to go like at 1 o'clock in the morning and just tell him to walk from one end of a block to another end of a block and just see how that by himself and just see what it looks like. But a nice dark one, a nice really dark one, just to see like, oh my God, it's like bringing out the dead over here.
So let me get this straight. So you try to do that to this poor kid over here.
Hey man, he needs to learn, man.
Now what happens if all of a sudden a random dude comes up to him and decides, hey, take your shit and give it to me. And we're all in the car watching this. Not one of us is going to jump out.
And be like, it's New York. Where's Nicolas Cage when we need him?
He's got to fend for himself. He has to prove.
It's like that's how. How do you think we grew? How do you think we grew real balls, man? We had to do that.
Poor me would probably be the only guy to get out of that car and then I'd do a damn thing about it.
I got robbed at Jamaica Station, please. It took everything but my train ticket. Come on.
There you go.
Exactly, but my point.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, can you though very exaggerated, I just want to get kind of like an all on it. What he saw, would you say that's being us New Yorkers? Is that real?
To an extent.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, no, obviously that's more film, glamour. But can you honestly say that what he saw out of those windows, the people that he was seeing doing the things that he was doing, is that fake? Or even the hookers? It's the pregnant hooker.
I think that's all real. That's all real.
Yeah, that part. Like every time I see that, it's kind of like I'm in New York for that one moment, and I'm seeing something that I don't want to see because that's what you're seeing things you don't want to see. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? You're seeing a pregnant hooker talking and joking. Pretty soon you'll be coming for me, and it's kind of like a double standard. You think you'll come for me? You know what I mean? Like, and then and then you got the chick right next to her, half naked, talking about, "Hey, ambulance man, what you looking at?" Like, to me, there's just this sense of realism that there was a lady that was like obviously looking like she's homeless, and she just like all of a sudden starts crying. I've seen that.
No,
I've seen that.
That I do remember as a child.
Like crying out of nowhere.
No, like there was this motel. I think it's still there at 125th Street, right off the Metro North. And over there, you would see a lot of like straight up crackhead hookers, like crack whores, in front of the parking lot.
And they don't even give a shit.
No,
Like
they
dress a specific way. They do what they do. It's just another day for them.
Yeah, so that was definitely really,
you know. And I know it's glorified, but there's just like that's one of the reasons why I like this movie, because he's not far from the truth when you see these things. You know what I mean? Just walk down late at night and down a New York street, a non-popular one, and you'll see things like this. You know what I mean?
People think of New Yorkers besides the Timbs and the hat.
Yeah, it's not the dead ass crew.
Yeah.
But
facts.
onward, yeah. So like there's that stuff, and then we got the part where like this is the movie part of it. You got Nicolas Cage's character who he's an EMT who hasn't been very lucky as of late. Everybody that he keeps getting calls from, if he has to try to save them, he's not really there trying to save them. You know what I mean? Like his own personal struggle. He has this personal struggle where he's people that he wants to save are not being saved. He hasn't saved anyone in months. You know, things like that.
As if he had bad luck.
Yeah, like he feels like
he definitely had bad luck.
Yeah, you think so? Do you believe in
Absolutely.
that stuff? You think like
I'm not trying to be superstitious.
Yeah, no.
about this,
I want to hear that. Like I want to hear like, because here you got he feels at fault for letting this 18-year-old asthmatic die. You know, however long ago, and then after that, it's just like death. All these other deaths.
Do you think he's creating the bad luck for himself?
That's what I think.
And we'll get to that, and I'm going to tell you
you're
why.
Not gonna hear a basketball player
I think he is.
A shot in.
Yeah, I think he is, and and the end of the film is what ties that to make it a certainty. You understand what I'm saying? And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. You know what I mean? I just want to kind of simmer on the other stuff. All right. One of the so he's this guy, he's down and out, he's just, you know, maybe he's not trying hard enough, maybe it's because he's drinking, maybe it's because he's not getting enough sleep. These factors do affect your work, you know what I mean, like realistically, you know what I mean. And then one of the things I do like, because when I remember watching this movie in the theaters, I thought it was, I really thought just like you people, like I had that notion where it was like,
what do you mean,
it was you people. What you mean, you people? I did think it was a specific movie when I first started seeing it. I'm in the theaters watching this, and then all of a sudden, like I thought it was just gonna be him and John Goodman going around being EMTs every day. You know what I mean? Like for the next couple of days, for the next 2 hours, and then you start seeing that it's not that. You know, and then he gets another partner. You know, and then I'm like, holy shit, is this what it really is? You don't have a set partner, you get a different partner all the time. I don't know what it's like to be EMT. I don't know what they go in there. You know, looking at. Do you get a different partner anytime, John? You're an EMT, aren't you?
No,
but didn't you volunteer? Am I wrong?
EMT. No, I volunteered.
Yeah, that's right. You did something.
We volunteered.
You volunteered.
Yeah, he also volunteered, but I wasn't. We weren't EMTs. We rode with them.
Yeah,
we were just muscle to help them lift up.
Well, like lift ups people and all that stuff.
From what I've had two exes that were both EMTs.
Okay.
From what they've told me, I mean, maybe it's changed over time. From what they told me, they do have assigned partners, and that's all. You know, unless somebody leaves or you know, they don't get along or something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they stick together, and those are the two.
Well, John Goodman's character, if I forgot to say that, but he called out sick the next day, so that's why he had another partner, which was Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
He had called out sick. His character called out sick for the next day.
But it's crazy. Even with like the short time that we've done it, we still saw some shit.
Oh, I could imagine, Like, how long were you guys doing it?
I mean, I did it for
longer than me.
Yeah, I did it for like a year.
Okay, and even that
you're supposed to ride with them for about like 8 months.
Okay.
And you know, just to get off probation, because we signed up for voluntary firefighting.
Yeah.
But
did you guys do any late night?
Yeah.
Like or overnight?
Yeah.
But it was here in LA, right?
From
yeah.
But
like,
even then, you'd
be surprised in the film when they said, "Oh, another cardiac arrest." Believe it or not, that's a lot.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because
a lot of calls that they come in, they get.
Yeah, what did you guys think of that? Like how they treat the clientele, so to speak.
Nah, that's definitely
that's over-exaggerated.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
But what if you're a character? What if you're a person that is kind of like
we know because when we go in there, the EMT goes in first, and then we're right behind them. So like everything's done professionally.
Yeah.
You okay? Is everything good? You know, everyone's safety comes first. But
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about before you save somebody in the truck, and you getting that call. Is there somebody? You just said another cardiac arrest. Did you say that? Did you just say that right now?
No, we were in the truck when we got the call. It's actually
When you
different.
get calls, like, and you're in the truck.
When we get calls, we have a pager.
Yeah.
Like we carry.
Oh,
a
I see
pager.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay,
like-
but not walkie-talkie like the way they do it there.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, the city's different.
Yeah,
from
maybe.
Long
Yeah,
Island.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
their protocols are different from the volunteer.
You don't think
departments.
that maybe some guy just woke up on one day, it's a bad day,
But the
he's
funny thing
cranky.
is, what he said though, remember the crazy lady? Well, off the record, they would know. Oh, it's this. Okay, we got to go to that call. Everybody starts laughing.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. You see?
Yeah,
That
that's
in
true.
work-
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
They do
That
know
in
this.
work thing, like Mr. O.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like why he's there. You know why they're calling. It's the same shit. It's that routine shit.
So everybody knew, and since I was a newbie, I'm like, oh, I didn't know. So they're like, oh, yo.
So
You'll see.
okay. So in a way that is true.
I
Like
connected it to that.
like
film
John Goodman's character said, like when he was like, oh, it's 3:00 in the morning. There's only one person that's gonna bother us right now, and that's Mr. O.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas Cage was like, but it's not a big deal. He ain't gonna die. He just smells bad. Let's just take him to the hospital, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I always like that because I don't know if it's true, but I do know that in work, in a job situation, that's real. Not wanting to do those simple things that nobody ain't gonna die. But I mean, am I wrong? But you do it anyway because obviously it's your job.
Yeah.
But anybody want to pick up that smelly bum that's been drinking and he keeps falling off his wheelchair?
But you know what? It's the messed up part is that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I knew clearly what I was signing up for when I did what I did.
And they have plenty of those
I give
things.
them
in
my
it.
utmost respect to the paramedics
Yeah.
and EMTs out there.
That deal
they're doing
with
a good job.
totally.
especially in the city. 'Cause
Especially in the
Yeah,
city.
and it's a shame because I know a lot of EMTs who sign up thinking that they're gonna, they really want to make a difference and save people, and a lot of the
And they
calls
get
are just
a lot of
calls
Mr.
are just
O's,
like that.
a whole lot of Mr. O's,
drunk
yeah.
people, a lot
Yeah.
of people vomiting and shit like that, and they're like, come on, there's somebody.
It's like, fuck, man.
Exactly. Actually, one of my exes told me exactly one of the lines that the guy said. It's like
Yeah.
somebody's gonna die because this fucking idiot.
Yeah. But John Goodman said he was like, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna really need our help, and all the paramedics in the world are gonna be saving Mr. O.
Exactly.
And I was like, you know what? It's a big city, and I know they get those really stupid fucking phone calls. No pun intended. I'm pretty sure everybody that calls needs real help, and not But like I said,
In their own
you got
eyes, yeah.
exactly in their own eyes, they need some kind of help on some kind of level. But an EMT ain't gonna save them. It's not for the EMTs to help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like so. That's what I liked. It was like, I think that the horse talk was kind of real, and that comes from the book. I think that comes from that EMT, like the horse talk part, the stuff that you won't hear outside of that truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, gotta fucking, like the way the dispatcher kept talking to him, which by the way, the first dispatcher was Martin Scorsese. Mm-hmm. He did a little cameo in his own movie, and he kept saying like, pick up the phone call, and he knew it was for Mr. O. They already knew. He's like, I don't want to pick up this call. And he's like, I'm gonna send the captain to your plane if you don't pick up this call. He's like, he's like, the least thing you could do is pick up when I tell you don't pick up. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But I always did like the horse talk. I like the negativeness of it. It's creepy in a way because it's like, because they deal with so much shit in that 12-hour work schedule or whatever it is that they
That's why I
have.
feel like it was real because sometimes when people do their job, they complain.
Yeah,
That's something
everybody
that you need
complains
to
at
do.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
You
makes
need
you
to
think
do
that they won't do that in an EMT job where they're saving you and they just wish that they were home doing nothing, something else but what they're doing at that moment, even if they're trying to save your ass. You know what I mean? It's kind of creepy in a way. It has this kind of sense of realism to the point where it's kind of like horrific, kind of like a horror movie in a way, but not really. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, they really think like that, And so another thing, what'd you guys think of Noel, our boy Mark Anthony?
Oh man.
What'd you think of that character?
Think John wants to go first by that groan?
Yeah, I want to know, what'd you think of Noel?
I don't know. I feel like he was an unnecessary character.
You really think so?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because if you think about it, there was no point of him being there. Besides the fact that he was that girl's friend.
That's what I'm saying. Even
Mary? Was her name
Mary. Even knowing the
mean,
the bridge between like
I think he was symbolic in the film.
Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
you
I
needed
think
that.
so.
You needed somebody.
Were you sleeping, John?
No, I wasn't sleeping at all. I really wasn't. I really
snoring off.
wasn't sleeping.
No,
I really wasn't sleeping.
I think he was actually essential to the movie because
Really?
there are EMTs, there are regulars that EMTs see all the time, just like Mr.
They
Oaks.
all knew him, and then you have the character, Wool, the Tom Sizemore character. He hates his guts. He knows him. He's like, we
Yeah,
gotta.
like I'm gonna, not to get too personal, but I had a little visit one time to a psychiatric ward, and I heard the workers there, talking about one of the patients that was in there. And they were the way they're discussing. Oh, he's here all the time. He's just gonna come. He's gonna get his medication. He's gonna leave, and he's gonna come back.
So?
And that's the kind of guy. That's to show the realism. Because people are like that. There's some
In a
people who
way,
are-
Bringing Out the Dead has that realism. Like they're like when they go in, that lady with the glasses, and whoever she was speaking to that day, she was like, "Oh, so let me get this straight. So you've done coke for 3 days, and now you feel like your heartbeat can't stop, like your heart's pumping out of your chest. You can't slow it down. Well, did we help you? Did we push the cocaine up your nose? Stuff like that. And then like even the Spanish guy that was an alcoholic, he goes, "Oh, so you fell down and you hit your head. Well, then if you're gonna keep drinking, then you're always gonna fall down and hit your head. So it's like, and then we want us to help you all the time."
And I also think he was essential to show how some of the workers cope with a lot of their patients, like that the one guy who did hate him and who always wanted to fuck him up, and he just wasn't willing to understand where he was coming from.
He was chemically imbalanced, and he didn't give a shit. He just thought he was just another crazy person in the street.
And what's this guy? And Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, really the main character.
Edit this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage's character was the one who was sympathizing with him once he knew his story, and a lot of stuff like that does happen in EMT.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ugly John?
Ugly John. Wow.
Not so good looking John.
Not Ugly John. Making me sound like that guy from the movie now. What do you want? No, but the only thing is that I just felt like he was unnecessary because it's like for me anyway. For me, I mean, and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong because Germs the Lion here, says otherwise. But I just never picture an EMT going out of his way, taking a bat, following this.
Oh no, that's a personal issue though.
Yeah.
That part was the personal issue, but
I'm not saying.
He was doped up too.
Say that again.
And he was doped up.
not really. Actually, he was totally fucking sober.
He was sober as hell. But
What about when he took that pill with what's his name?
Who took a pill?
Are you talking about Mark Anthony's character or the other EMT
Nicolas
guy?
Cage.
no, he wasn't.
No, but
there.
you're confusing that scene with something else. You're talking about the scene where he was in the apartment. That's when the only time he took a pill. But this is the reason why I think. This is the reason why I think that his character was very important, and it was the character of Mary. Now, what I mean about Mary is she's a character that she is the daughter of the man that is dying that we first visit in the beginning of the film. Now, if you remember correctly, the Mary, she hates her father, right?
Yeah, correct.
You remember that we are in accordance and agreement with that?
Yeah.
Now, she said that she went to she heard her father got sick, right? And she admitted that on the way to her father's house, to her parents' house, all she was thinking about was how she was going to say how much she hated his guts. Like, you just heard that your father's dying, and you're thinking about the most negative things about it. Now, what I keep saying, now, this is where Noel is important. She hates her father's guts for whatever the kind of man that he was to her, because she is an ex-addict. She admitted to being an ex-addict. She cleaned up. She's been clean for 2 years since we met her. And but this is the reason why she hates his gut. Noel knows that family. Noel grew up with that family. Her father took him in. Now, does that sound like a person that you could hate? It's like, how the fuck can you be the most fucked up father ever, and yet you're taking in this kid, whatever, for a year, and you're being so fucking nice to him? And that's where she kind of like...
You know what? I completely forgot about that scene when you said that. So, you know what? Like, never mind. I take what I said back.
That's where... But that... I
But
see
you know what?
that was her struggle.
It's real, though, because that's seen in everyday life. Like, situations.
Yeah, a lot of people suffer from that. It's like, how can you be the biggest jerk to me, and you're bringing in a stranger to live with us so you can take care of them? You know what I mean? And it's like... You're seeing two sides of this girl's father. You know, what were you gonna say, John?
Now, do you think? Remember that one line she said where she's like, "Oh, what do you want? Do you want to fuck me?
Yeah,
do you want to fuck
yeah.
me? Because already like half.
He's like half of the city already has.
So do you think? Yeah. Do you think that?
Well, she was still high when she said it, and she's
Do you,
like,
but
it
do
was
you
very
think?
true, though.
Yeah. But do you think that Noel got between those?
well, we
be
gotta
surprised.
we gotta
That's what you're
ask
thinking
her.
of?
A junkie
Maybe
with a
that
junkie.
would. Yeah, I mean,
Why? Because
No,
he
you know
lived there
what?
for a
Well,
year.
I would have thought of the underlying daddy issues in that girl's life. You know?
why? Let me ask you this:
Just say so politely.
Do you guys have any other reason why you think she was mad at him other than maybe because let's say that I always saw her as a junkie or a drug user as a teenager, and her father always giving her shit for it. Do you think there's anything there?
Maybe.
He seemed like a nice guy to me. He took in a kid. You know what I mean? Like there isn't anything there where it could have been negative in terms of sexual abuse or anything, right?
I mean, they didn't hint at it, but
No,
they did.
she really hated his guts.
Yeah.
did.
Well, I mean,
She
that
did.
is true. I know. I guess Martin Scorsese does seem like the type of director. Who
I know. I was
would-
reading more of the mother's reaction as opposed to the daughter. You know,
Oh.
the daughter has her hates and whatever, her
Yeah, yeah.
motives.
Right.
But then the mother, the mother always sticks to.
Well, she loved her mom. She didn't
What
have
happened
any
to her?
negative.
She just disappeared.
Yeah,
No, she
had
took
that
him
one
home.
scene. Yeah, she took him home, but she never came back.
No, because I think that the mortal struggle, the mother doesn't look like she suffered from any kind of regret. She's just upset that her husband is finally maybe dying.
Yeah.
And then you got this girl who's struggling with regret. The fact that, that's some harsh shit. Like I always, every time I see this, I just think that's so harsh that you got called by your brother saying, dad is he just had a heart attack. We called the EMT, come here. And she's thinking, I want to tell him how much I wish he was dead. I want to, things like that. And I'm like, damn, that's harsh, man.
I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about the father because, for him wanting to say, "Oh, just pull the plug."
Yeah,
let me go,"
that's
he
what-
must
yeah.
have been a bad guy then to say this something like that, to want to give up at the very end, knowing that you died, but you came back. You know what I'm saying? Well, in the mind of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, I got this motion. Like, I think how some people they say that they're ready to leave. They've lived their life long enough, and in the beginning, when you see like this is where the silence is golden thing kind of happens, and the filmmaker comes out. When he's trying to save him in the beginning of the film, Nicolas Cage kind of like steps back a little bit, and he starts looking at all these pictures.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's an accomplished man. Mm-hmm. He was in the Navy. Got a picture of his daughter at a prom. A picture of son, family, and all this and that. And then Nicolas Cage says some real, because the thing is that the jewels of this film is what you hear as a voiceover. Things about spirits half finished. People being upset about where life had left them. When they're dying. And I was like, shit, maybe he didn't want to live in some shitty ass apartment in New York City somewhere. You know what I mean? Like they live not poor, but super simple. They didn't have a big fucking house. They have a regular New York life. You know what I mean? With a shitty daughter and a okay son, maybe. Like, cause they're broken. They're a broken family. You could tell that they are. And, I always thought that as the film progressed, that maybe that his death healed them. Because I felt that by the end of the film, Mary's character, she did seemed healed.
Yeah, like the closure she got.
Yeah.
She finally got it what she wanted.
Him dying was
Yeah.
actually something, and I get this kind of thing with her where it's like, she'll be okay. She's gonna be all right.
I could see where she would have gotten that closure too, because he was hospitalized for a long while.
Yeah, 3 days to be exact. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So she was going back and forth, expecting him to survive, and she was, going in her mind how much she hated him, but at the same time she was feeling that remorse because she had so much resentment toward him. And then at the end of it, she's probably like, "Oh my God, is this guy gonna die or what?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So actually, I think she probably warmed up to the idea.
Because she even hated the whole thing about like first he's dying and then he's okay and then he's in ice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
inside she's probably like, "Just fucking kick the bucket already."
Yeah, it was a little bit of like both. Maybe she was like, "Is he gonna come out and be healthy, or he's gonna die? Which one is it?" Like, because his struggle was she was suffering the most out of it. You know what I mean? Like you could tell that she was suffering the most out of it. She's the one that was mostly going there to get any good news or bad news, and her suffering from it, him being in the hospital, forced her to use drugs again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying.
But for the viewers, how many times was he coded again at the end? The number
17.
Yeah.
Wow.
17 times in 3 days. He died and was revived. So, onward, I'm going to pick one of the scenes that I told you guys, pay attention, because I always think it's so fucking awesome. When they go visit those two teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys get it? That whole scene, like what it was?
Which
The scene when they go see those 2 Puerto Rican kids, and the girl's pregnant.
Oh,
I was so mad at that scene.
Yeah,
was like,
I
come
want to get everybody's
Come on.
interpretation of that. Now, as it kept them rolling, did you guys get what story he was trying to tell there? That little mini story.
yeah.
Yeah.
what is it? John?
The Virgin
The
Mary.
Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
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 Oh, is that it?
His name is Joseph.
You know, it's funny. It kind of crossed my mind, but at the same time, I don't know. It was only like
It was a stint. It was like,
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why I think the scene is so cool. But like, yes, there's a scene in there where there's a guy named Joseph, and there are 2 virgins. She says she's feeling pain in her belly, and they're saying she's pregnant. Like, obviously this is normal. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And he's like, that's impossible. We're virgins, and they're trying to get it out. It's like, you gotta tell me, come on now. It's like, no, that's impossible. Ever since we came from the islands, 2 years, we've never had sex, no drugs, no alcohol. And they go, what's your name? And she says, Maria. Her name is Maria.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and then that she's giving birth, and the whole it's a miracle thing. I want to know what your interpretation. Why was that scene there? Why do you think that scene was there? Yeah, Jeremy, go right. Like, why do you? Because obviously it's a random scene. It's not something that pushes the movie forward. It's just that one random standstill scene.
Taking a random guess, I would assume it's because it's very like throughout the whole movie, you get like this whole spiritual vibe. You know, he's seeing or supposedly seeing ghosts and things like that. And
the people that have died
yeah,
in his,
exactly.
you know.
So I mean, I can only assume it was there to maybe to try and convey his bad luck on
but it didn't really go so well.
Yeah, exactly. Because
For him, anyway.
Yeah, because he got the dead baby. You know?
Because he ended up getting unlucky.
agree.
But what do you think about that scene, John? I mean, Outrageous O.
I think like with the switch of his partners, I can see the difference between like what's real and what's like what's in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when that scene actually happened, I was like, okay, this guy's not that crazy after all. Like even though he's there and he's hearing them talk and observing the whole situation, like he took it as okay. Yo, come on, bro. Wake up.
What did you think about that scene?
No, I agree with Germs.
Yeah, which was?
Which is like
I want to make sure you were paying attention.
No, just to portray his bad
that's it.
luck.
What?
To portray his bad luck, like
Yeah.
to portray it like as like
like everything he touched was death.
Yeah, exactly. Like because he was actually wondering how come everybody that I tried to save dies.
Yeah.
And like the proof is in the pudding. He Ving Rhames is a sin that like, oh man, I got a healthy baby
He's
boy.
gloating, yeah.
He even gloated. He was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, go on,
he's-
say it."
And then he's like, what about you, man? And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you see him like just like
Holding a
flopping this-
dead baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a gelatin fetus.
Yeah. So which was like disgusting,
Yeah.
like you don't want to see that.
No,
but at
not
the
at
same-
all.
But at the same time, it's like it kind of just shows like how bad his luck really is.
Yeah.
Even if like he's like just like a walking dark cloud, like no matter what he touches, something's bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Ambulance crashes, he just runs around screaming, like.
I love that scene because you never saw that
It's
coming.
it's so bad because it's like he's living in his own hell. He tries to quit, can't quit.
The guy, his chief won't
his
make
chief
him
won't
quit.
let him.
I'll fire you tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's like he's actually creating his own personal hell.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. What do you think, Santi? I know this is like the most intelligent film you've probably ever seen in your entire life.
Ouch.
I want to know. It's true. If it wasn't for me, I don't know where you'd be in movie watching hell. I'm spreading movie awareness.
Barney's Big Adventure.
Yes, Barney would be all up on that. What did that scene mean to you? What do you think that scene was there?
To show how random New York is. To show how crazy doped up people can be.
Yeah.
Like he said, have you two ever...
Yeah, he asked if they've ever had sex.
Yeah,
And she's pregnant. He's not weirded out to the fact that she's pregnant and about to give birth. That's not weird.
To me, they just look doped up and really high hopes
But they
for
weren't.
religion. Well,
They weren't doped up. They said it. No drugs, no alcohol. They're clean kids. No sex. No underwear, just like no underwear. No underwear?
I mean,
Here it goes. Here, I'll take a shot in the dark. We live in a very highly religious society, right?
Yes.
Even in our own families.
very.
That scene to me right there, could that be Jesus?
What? Well,
Jesus
we live in
born
a life.
New
Look,
York?
just put it like that. We know how was Jesus born? Meaning in the way that we read it as
Yeah,
a story.
it was
but it was a
immaculate
random
conception.
day with a random woman giving birth to a man that will. To a boy that will soon be a man named Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
correct.
What
You
about the
understand what
other
I'm
kid?
saying? Huh?
What about the other kid?
What about the other kid? That's the father. Well, he's Joseph.
No, the
No,
kid
no,
that
no,
died,
the other-
baby,
the
the
dead
other
twin.
baby.
Yeah, the dead twin. But what survived? What was the gender of the baby that survived? It was a boy. What I'm trying to say is that the birth of Jesus is supposed to be a random birth, as any other birth is. All births are random, meaning it's kind of like a symbol, like this is maybe the second coming of Jesus in that moment. And then, because what I like about it is that it's just another day.
Yeah. Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just that one biblical moment is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? It's kind of, I know I know that I'm coming out all weird.
I know what you're trying to say. I just think it's really
He's highly Catholic, Martin Scorsese. So to have this scene is kind of like
blasphemy.
symbolic or even blasphemous for whatever, but also could also be symbolic. This is the director of my favorite film of all time, The Last Temptation of Christ. So making judgmental religious films is definitely his forte. But the fact that every time I saw that scene, every time I see this scene, creeps me out, because what if the EMTs are having, because I'm sure you sit one down and they'll probably tell you some of the most weirdest stories that don't make sense, but that really happened. And think about that story, how that goes, when they say, well, we saved the girl, we saved the girl from, giving birth. She gave birth to twins. We didn't save one baby, but her name was Maria. She claims she never had sex. Her boyfriend's name was Joseph. Think about that story. If somebody were to tell you that story, you know what I mean? They say they never had sex, but there she is with a fucking baby coming out. 2 babies. One died and she gave birth to a son.
He could have been just reenacting a crazy story he's heard.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
lived through. So
Yeah.
Well, maybe they were breathing in all that molding. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I've always
were
felt,
high as shit.
I always thought that scene was just because, like I said, it's not a movie. It's not a scene that pushes the story forward.
Yeah.
It's just that one random scene that I think is made for us,
But
the
my
viewer.
reaction was more towards Ving Rhymes. Like, he was like, "Come on, you had that day in the hot summer, you had a few beers." You don't remember.
and he
And
kept
that's
saying
exactly-
no.
Yeah.
And he was like literally putting the hammer down. He goes, "No, we are not like that. We came from the islands, obviously by a boat, obviously they don't have no family there." And, it's just funny and cool. Just that coincidence. It brings this kind of creepiness out of it for
But what I
me.
do like is the miracles that they try to throw on the paramedics themselves, because from them to go on a day-to-day basis of life and death, there really is no hope for miracle.
No.
That's how I looked at the scene as.
Yeah.
When they had the couple.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what your reaction was to that scene. I always thought that scene was just so cool and creepy for me, because I remember watching it. She said her name was Maria, and they kept stressing that they never had sex, and I'm just like, okay, that's just freaky. So let's just go on real quick to Nicolas Cage's character. Now, his character, like he said, he's a character that has not saved anyone in months. He has this haunting kind of like vision of a ghost. It's in his mind. It's not like Sixth Sense, where he feels guilty that he feels that he let die an 18-year-old asthmatic homeless girl. You know what I mean? So he keeps seeing her in his head where he feels like she's judging him. She keeps calling down, "Why did you let me die, Frank? Why'd you let me do this, Frank?" And all this and that. And we get to a scene where he goes to a house where Mary Burke decided that she needed a chill pill and get high so she could sleep it off. And he gets invited to take something that will, quote unquote, relax him. Now, he starts having he has demons. That's basically what it is. You know what I mean? It's when it comes to drugs, they say it's the person, it's your chemical reaction to the drugs. You know what I mean? So his chemical reaction was not the best of chemical reactions. But before we talk about the scene, what do you think of the scene of how we saw the 18-year-old asthmatic, how they showed it?
You know what? Now I have a theory on that.
On why they were showing the scene like that?
On why he has such a bad impression, or I should say, like, such a bad effect of it, because it was probably his first call.
What of the? It was his. No, it was his last call of the day.
I actually. What? Wait, which one?
The day. It was in the 6 a.m. She came in last.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. She did come in last.
no.
That was the last call of his
No.
shift. What were you talking
No.
about?
I'm talking about the Rose girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
call was the last. It was
she
the
was the
last. They saw her randomly in the street.
Yeah.
She was not a call.
No, what I think it may have been is his first failure to save somebody.
Major failure.
Yeah,
it was
that's
because
what I think.
the
Yeah,
reason.
I'm saying because they had such a strong effect.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
like,
Yeah, because you know what? All right.
first loss, first.
Like, did you know? But I'm
it's
saying, like,
something
did you
that's
hear
the
what was
first.
going on? Like, what was going on? It was that he was putting the tube in. John Goodman kept saying it's in the stomach, meaning it has to go into the lungs. That's where the tube is supposed to go. He kept missing, and he said, "Let me try." He goes, "No, let me try again." Like he just strength. He's like, "I'll do it. I'll do it." And he kept missing.
So, hold on, let me. I'm messed
Yeah, go
up
ahead,
here
go
a little
ahead.
bit, so help me.
You fell
help-
asleep, but
No,
it's
I
all
didn't-
right.
I
We'll
never-
bring
I
you-
didn't fall asleep.
Oh, he fell
Cut it out,
asleep.
you. No, I'm saying.
What do we got? Where we at? Go ahead.
That call. That was the same day.
No, not at all. This was months. It's been months behind.
Yeah. So I'm
I haven't
just
saved
saying-
because he kept saying he said I had not saved anyone in months. Go ahead.
I do have one question though, because in the beginning, it almost seems like he's on like the fucking like in the top of the world. He's saving people left and right. Now, when he fails,
Yeah.
is that after his streak of good luck? Is that the beginning
Yes,
of his bad luck?
Yes, the beginning of his bad luck is him fucking up on this 18-year-old girl that he
Okay.
cannot put the tube into her lungs. He keeps missing.
All right,
and then after that, he's just been in the shit.
Yeah.
And it was because of the way that it went. Not the fact that he was missing, but the fact that the girl just kind of like looked at him and she says, "Rose, my name is Rose." And that can have an impression on some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
course.
Even like, because he said, he talks about the good times
Yeah.
in the film. That he felt like godlike, that saving someone is
And
fucking
then-
amazing,
yeah, and then when it
you know, stuff
starts,
like
it's-
that. And then here it is, that one day where he fucked it all up, you know what I mean, and where it went all bad for him, you know, and it just caused an impression on him so bad, you know what I mean, and it caused him to start drinking, and he had because the thing is that look how he looks. It wasn't just because this wasn't like days ago, like he's just been in the shit, you know what I mean. After Rose, his A game was just not there. You know what I mean? It's just a bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. Now, what I wanted to ask was that, what did you guys notice how that scene was shot? Like, I actually said it. That scene is shot backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It was shot in reverse. That's why it looked all weird, like the way they were moving. You know, but I always thought that was symbolic because when you fuck up, what do most people say that they wish can happen?
They can turn
They
back
wish
time,
you could
yeah.
turn back time, and that's why I always thought it was so fucking cool, like about why it's shown backwards. You know, filmmakers don't. But what I'm trying to say is, filmmakers don't do anything by accident. And it's not because it's a cool idea, let's just try it, or at least a real filmmaker.
Right.
You know what I mean? He did that on purpose, just like how in Goodfellas he does that walking into the club scene on purpose. You know what I mean? And that's just great filmmaking. One thing I like about this movie, unlike Goodfellas, is that this is a director's film. And what I mean by that is, like, they do a lot of things that are over exaggerating, like that bright white light that just seems to be in almost in every shot in this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showing that scene backwards, the way he got high, like how he, you know, like standing up, kind of like looking godlike, looking up in the sky and things like that. I love that. That was also one of the first films I saw where it's like, I gotta try that directing shit out, man. Like, to have an eye and see things a specific way and wanting to do something a specific way, I just think that's awesome. It was the first non-movie that I ever seen, or at least one of the first few. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? What I mean by that? It's not a like standard just watching movie. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm going to ask you the question that you guys had. Jeremy, you said it. This movie took a turn for something that is not what I thought it was. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. Okay. So, in the beginning of the movie, you know, you see the guy. He's basically, you know, he has that God complex because he's saving lives left and right, and he's like on top of the world, and he feels so great. But at the same time, you kind of almost get the. All right, so staying back to the title, it's called "Bringing Out the Dead."
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of seems like he's like saving lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost the first life that he saved almost seemed supernatural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
The way he claims it, yeah.
Everyone thought he was gonna be dead, and he was like, "No, he's not." And
Yeah.
he puts his fucking, you know. It seems like he just uses magical powers. He touches
Yeah.
the guy, and all of a sudden he comes back
Yeah.
to life.
Well,
The dude
he's-
was dead.
What's cool is that he meant it metaphorically, though. He never said,
Yeah.
"I feel like God."
No,
it
I know,
just feels
but you
like,
get
yeah,
that
no, because
feeling.
no,
Sixth
it's just
sense.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
for the
That's what-
audiences that I want
Yeah.
to make sure that this film is very grounded.
Right.
So whenever he speaks like that,
Yeah.
though he's not saying it, it's metaphorical.
Yeah, it
no,
took-
I'm just, it's for the audience. It's not for you. I know you know that. I just want the audience to know
Yeah,
that
but
this
for
is
me, it
not
took
like the
halfway
six.
of the film to realize, oh, he's not talking to the dead.
Yeah,
Yes, you did see
exactly.
that, and I didn't
Yeah.
want to say because I'm sitting there the same way as you. Oh, does he
Yeah.
speak to the dead? Is this how he gets his little like thing? And then that's where it starts breaking down.
Right.
That you're not watching that movie.
So it seemed like
That kind of movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So especially with the title "Bringing Out the Dead," it sounds almost supernatural. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't know anything about the film. So you see him. He's like he hovers his hand over the guy. He saves his life. It seems like it's some kind of magical thing. And then you see him looking like seeing dead people. So it does look like almost
Yeah.
like he has some kind of sixth ability.
Yeah.
You know, sixth sense related ability.
Yeah.
And then after that, it kind of almost it somewhat turns into like Requiem for a Dream. It almost feels
like
you know?
real, but surreal.
Yeah, it's like
real.
exactly. It's like surreal but trippy, and you know, and it's like it's not what you expect the movie
Yeah.
to be from the first half, and then after that, it just kind of goes on a downhill.
Yeah.
And you don't really exactly like since they're not explaining everything, you know,
Yeah.
they're not treating you like a kindergartner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is what I actually appreciate about the movie. Is like
Yeah.
you have to figure shit out for yourself.
Yeah, man, have a brain, bro. Yeah,
exactly.
there's nothing wrong with
I mean,
that.
It's very, you know, it's like psychological kind of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to like, you know, he sets up these scenes, and you have to decide what, you know, you have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So it kind of throws you for a loop at first because
Cool.
now you see this guy, he's failing, and it you know, it just so I wasn't expecting like most of the stuff that was thrown at me.
Cool.
Essentially, it's what
All right, and that's what I like about
Yeah.
showing movies to you guys like that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Outrageous?
Well, I just wanted to throw in he said it perfectly. What kind of threw me off, of course, was the monologuing and his poetic way of saying things. I was like, wow.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, because that's when we started on the intro. I was like, okay, you had me convinced you were this way, and all of a sudden
You're not that way.
You're like, no, you're not.
But let me ask you this: you never got to see him be this man that he claims to say that he was, but you believe him.
I don't know.
I believed him.
You know what's funny? For me,
convincing
in the
his words.
beginning, I was struggling to believe it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Really?
And
It's
then
like-
towards the middle of it, when he kept constantly switching partners, I got to see another side of him every time. Did you know?
Yeah, he had three personalities, and the personality would come out of him.
Like
Like
sleep. You see?
Yeah.
The very different characteristics. he's
You know,
had.
and it's good that we're talking about it now because in retrospect, when you look back at everything that happens, you can actually kind of see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
it's essentially a real life story of a
Yeah.
person who's EMT. Like I said,
Yeah.
you know, I've known people who are EMTs, and
Yeah.
and they feel like they're on top of the world until you get that one failure, and then
Yeah.
after the failure
could hit
happens,
you.
yeah, it's hard to recover from that. You know.
Yeah.
So like
Johnny. Yeah,
so
go.
each person that he was with brought out a different side of him.
Yes.
Which is crazy
Yeah.
because I feel like he doesn't even really have. I didn't believe him because I felt like he didn't have a real version of himself. Every person he was with brought out a different
A
characteristic.
negative
another-
one,
Yeah.
too. Not even a positive one.
Yeah, so like you never got a chance to see his positive side.
No,
I feel like,
but that's what I
feel
mean.
like that girl that came into the picture, Mary, somewhat gave him a positive side.
Yeah, she was the only one that was
Yeah.
giving him kind of like this sense of calmness
Not
where
even
he
like
doesn't
this-
have to be like them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like for example, like when she was knocked out in the bed, after she did that drug, and he went berserk. He
Yeah.
went into the room, carried her out as if he was
Saving
trying to save her. Yeah,
While he was bugged out.
And
Yeah,
he
while he
walked
was
her all the
bugged
way
out.
home because he was like, "You can't walk."
and I feel like that was the character that was kind of going to redeem him for not saving that girl Rose. Because he
looking like he was trying to latch on to something positive.
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
tell
So
that he was.
so like I guess he was trying to replace her for Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So like okay, I'm trying to help out this girl that I failed to help out a few months back because I couldn't save Rose, so I'm going to save her in some way, shape, or form.
Makes sense.
So like towards the end of the movie, I feel like it closed out as if he finally got that redemption. He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
Which is why it ended in that nice, bright.
Like kind of symbolic, angelic thing, just like how Outrageous O said. It was very angelic. That's why I said, hold your piss, Jeremy. Just watch that scene real quick. The last shot of the film. Here's something that I wanted. So, real quick, I just want to. When can you pinpoint the scene that says, okay, this is a different movie? Do you remember when it switched for you? If you had to pick one.
I think it would have to be.
I know.
Yeah, for you,
You go first. Let me.
Oh yeah, Outrageous O. Do you have the scene where you say, you know what? Holy shit, this is not this. This is this. Oh shit. Okay.
Yes, actually, when he was riding with Ving Rhames, and the car got turned over.
Yeah.
And when they got out, I was
Yeah.
and he just literally just walked out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow.
Talking about I quit, but
Yeah,
yet
quit.
then again he goes back to work the next day.
Exactly. He contradicted his own personality,
Yeah.
saying, I don't want to do this, I want to do this, but he still came back
Yeah.
hesitating. Nah,
Yeah.
Nick, let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me save a life.
Yeah.
So.
But he's on autopilot because he's going. He's like, and he even says it earlier. He's like, oh, the captain said I came late today. Captain might fire me tomorrow. I hope that happens. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, why can't you just leave? Everybody, who's telling you to leave? Who's telling you to stay?
Even after he said he had a family, he had this and he had that, and he still is on the job.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
and that's what he said about his ex-wife. He was like, she wasn't used to this. Exactly. Like, no matter how down and out he got with this damn job, he still stayed at the job. But John, is there a part of the movie that you said I mean, did you ever have that, like what Jeremy and Outrageous O had?
No,
you never had that kind of like this movie was something and then it turned into something else. Yeah, you've seen it before. But even back then, can you?
No, because I really didn't pay attention to the movie as much as.
Thanks to me, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. But no, like I'm not critiquing it like how I'm doing it now. So it's kind of different.
Do you feel like you're amongst royalty when you talk about film this way?
No.
You don't feel at least a little bit more cute or better looking because you speak about about films like this?
No.
It'll get there.
You turn from not so good looking to semi good looking?
Yeah. I mean, talking about film can make that come out of one person. Look at me. Really? I used to be not so good looking, and now I'm a very pretty man.
No, he's the Grecian god.
Yeah, man. Exactly. He's bask in my greatness. No, I'm just kidding.
I think for me the point when it all turned around was was actually when he lost his confidence. Actually, no. You know what it was for me is when he started kind of just everything started getting trippy for him when he was like losing.
When he got high.
Yeah, when he had the lack of
sleep, dream?
And he started getting when he started tripping out and stuff like that, I was just like, all right, so this is just he's not as together as he seems.
Yeah, and he's broken. He is the guy that broken. He's been broken down for months. Yeah, and we have actually probably all felt that way for a while. It's not necessarily like that, but we can relate to that.
Yeah, of course.
Having a few couple of weeks that you're not in the best.
That downward slope. It's like
we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
For me, it was when they took that guy to the hospital for the first time.
Who? Mr. Burke? No.
No, Mary's father.
Mary's father, yeah, Mr. Burke.
Yeah, Mr. Burke. When they brought him to the hospital, and you could just tell. Just in that scenario, something's not right about this movie.
Yeah.
You got Noel sitting there chained up to the, not chained up, but like tied to the, what do you call it, the stretcher.
Yeah.
Couldn't get out. Saying he was constantly thirsty. And then you got the doctor treating him like crap.
Yeah.
Treating all of his patients like crap. So like something was just completely wrong for me in that picture.
I think that was just like the realism of hospitals, because
when it's heavy in Manhattan, it gets
like they don't give a shit. They're like, all right, so this fucking dickhead just decided to get himself.
Which
drunk.
is why I said before, I'm not I never know.
Yeah.
I never knew about that side of Manhattan before.
My girlfriend broke her ankle a few years back, and we had to go to the hospital. And I remember being there, and it got very bringing out the dead for me.
Really? It was like that?
Well, it was heavy.
Like it's
in the hospital.
It's in the
it was in the ER. It was super heavy. And I'm a very observant guy. When I don't have nothing to do, I mean, my girlfriend was just laying there, so there's nothing left to do. But just to really observe, see what people are going through in the in the show. I mean, in the hospital. And I remember seeing. Just people be like, another broken ankle. This is like the fifth person you see, and I remember, and because I asked, I'm like, yo, do you know how much longer? Because I'm from Jersey, and ERs don't go like this. You can be in and out in inside of an hour. You know what I mean? Yeah. The craziness of it was not there for me. So when I was just being impatient, and I asked, and he was like, look, to be honest with you, your girlfriend is the fifth person that broke her ankle due to ice, so she's gonna be here a while. And I'm just like. It just got bringing up the dead for me right now.
Basically, hey, guess what? You ain't nothing special.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if you want
and
a serious case,
here's another shocker. When she tripped and broke her ankle and she's screaming and crying in pain, I'm there in the ambulance, and this is what happened. The guy that was EMT, and here's a little shocker for you. He said, you don't need to scream so loud. You probably didn't even break anything. You probably sprained it. And every time she screamed, he was like, oh, God, I shit you not. Like I said, I was very observant. She didn't see this. I did. He had like this, like, can we finish with this girl? And I was like, holy shit, it's real. Like, you know what I mean? On some kind of level, it's real. Because a broken ankle ain't shit. Ain't nobody lost a limb. Ain't nobody bleeding, you know, like crazy. And I totally get that, you know, and that's why I wasn't like, oh, what the hell? Why are you even putting priority on my girlfriend? And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And that's what's kind of fucked up. Now, we're about to wrap up here real quick. After talking about all this, and the thing about Rose and the thing about Noel, I'm not going to speak about what happened to Noel. I'll let the people that watch the movie figure that part out by themselves. The real gist of the film that I really, really love, what kind of like finishes that film for me is two things. One, just quick question. Do you think Mr. Burke wanted to die?
Yes.
There's actually something that happened in the movie before Nicolas Cage got there that gives you the notion that he actually wanted to die. I don't know if you guys remember.
It was at the very beginning, right?
Yes. The son said it. He's like, he was pounding his chest. He locks himself up in the bathroom. They had to break the door open to get him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that sound like a person that wants to be saved?
He was trying. I thought
He had
he
it
was
planned
trying
from
to
the very
commit
beginning.
suicide.
Yeah.
He had it planned from the very beginning.
The heart attack was coming. He wanted to just like die. That's already kind of giving you that. And I don't know if, you know, well, he didn't know that, but a person that stays alive that many times and is trying to be, you know, he doesn't want to come back. You know, that's it. He knows the truth. You know what I mean? Nicolas Cage knows the truth. You know what I mean? For himself, but that's not something that you could just up and blurt out. I was like, look, man, he wanted to kill himself, man. He locked himself in the bathroom for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so I just have two questions for you. The very first one is Nicolas Cage's character, what he did for Mr. Burke. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, me personally, I feel like there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, he definitely could get fired. You know,
Hence why it was done in secret.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he takes the the mask and he breathes for him so that he can let him die in peace. So that's not legal at all.
No.
But yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think it was a merciful thing. You know, the guy died 17 times.
Yeah.
You know, machinery was keeping him alive, and there was probably possibility of him not even getting brain activity back. You know what I mean? So I mean, I personally, you know, I look back at other things like, you know, the whole Terry Schiavo thing to bring out, you know.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so, you know, the husband, he knew she didn't want to survive, and I think it's a merciful thing, you know. I mean,
awesome.
It's like I would not, if I was in that situation, I would not want to be, you know, keep being resuscitated if I was just going to just be a vegetable.
A vegetable, because that's actually what he was. They knew that he wasn't going to breathe on us, hence why he was always with the tubes. Yeah. But what about you, Outrageous? What do you think about that? Him taking that life away from Mr. Burke?
Well, at the very end or the beginning?
No, the beginning part of it. I mean the ending. I'm sorry. That first part of the ending, like the thing with Mr. Burke, him going into there, kind of like looking at him, takes the respirator off so he can breathe.
Well, I feel like from the beginning, I feel like he did it out of guilt, and at the end, I feel like he needed to redeem himself again and say, you know what? Even though he's an EMT and he has the science down to, he's like, you know what? He knows he was a vegetable. He know he wasn't gonna come back. So he's like, you know what? Let me give him a peace of mind and put him out of his misery. Yeah. After him ODing and waking up and saying, you know what?
That's makes sense. What about you, John? What do you think?
I felt like that option wasn't in his it wasn't. He shouldn't have done it.
Well, he shouldn't have done it. If I were to tell you that he did it for a good reason, no.
I know you're right.
No. Here's a curveball. He did something good, but it wasn't for Mr. Burke. What if I told you that?
It was probably for him.
You think it was for Mr. No, not even for him. What if I told you that what he did wasn't for Mr. Burke, but it was for Mary?
To give her peace of mind.
I could see that.
Where him almost dying, coming back to life was making her do. Where it was putting her in the position of that.
You're right. I'm not saying.
No. I'm saying,
but I'm saying like.
No. I'm just saying like you say that he shouldn't have done. Of course he shouldn't have. That's mad. That's mad.
I shouldn't. I don't think he shouldn't have done it. But I think that one of his relatives should have done it. But they said, at that point.
Remember the scene with the nurse that says
none
the
of his
family,
none of his
the family believes in miracles.
Yes.
So we gotta keep them alive.
Yes.
That always gives me chills too. You're keeping a person alive because the family believes in miracles. We gotta keep doing it.
But I'm just saying, I think that wasn't his call. I think that was
No,
messed up
not at all.
Yeah, I think that was messed up. I think he was doing it for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
That's it.
You think so? Not for Mary?
No,
You didn't get that?
first, well, since you put it that way,
Yeah.
I see it that way now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm saying before.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm telling you the reason why.
So impressionable.
I'm giving you my theory on why.
No, but you're. I
Why
feel
he
like,
did it.
Yeah,
of
but
course
since you put it
that
that
scene
way,
was
I
mad
feel
rough.
Like, I feel like it's a. It
Yeah.
sounds right. It sounds right.
And
But
I'm
I'm
gonna
just saying. I'm saying for me, like when I first saw it, I just was like,
Holy shit! Yeah,
that's messed up.
Yeah.
Let's.
I took it. I actually didn't really think about it until I left. After watching the movie, I go home. Sometimes I just kind of chill, laying down on my bed or like on the couch, and I'm like, like replaying certain parts in my head, and I'm trying to figure out why these things are there, why this part of the story did that. But I came to the conclusion for myself that I think that he threw Mary a bone to help out with her life. What do you think? Could anybody agree with me or disagree? Does anybody have any disagreements to that?
Oh no, he definitely threw her that bone.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he was just trying to
Yeah, but
throw
which
that
is
bone her way.
Even when she said, I went back to the hospital knowing that I know he's going to have somewhat of a chance to come back.
Yeah.
She wanted to say what she wanted to say, but he knew in the end he wasn't going to be back in his regular state. He's going to be back a vegetable.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like he decided, you know what? Let me pull the
Yeah.
Some peace of mind is obviously, driving her nuts is driving.
It
her
was
to do
every
things
time
that
he kept seeing her.
Yeah.
She was fine when he said he's showing signs, and then when fucked up shit was happening, she would be in like the worst possible way.
If you find from their first interaction, she seemed very well put together. She was very like you wouldn't have even been able to tell that she had a drug problem before.
No,
she
no,
was,
no.
Very well spoken. She was very nice, and then the more the situation played out, the more disheveled she became. The more apart she started becoming. So and then when they finally reveal she's been sober and all that stuff for
I feel like my picture of the father changed when I saw she saw her do drugs. I'm like, okay, then he's not the nice
a lot
guy
of fathers, but a lot of fathers would do that, especially if it's a girl, man.
Yeah, correct.
But your daughter doesn't feel like she's savable for that moment, and you're just like, well, if you're gonna be that way, then get the fuck out. You know what I mean? That's real. And you could tell that she's had this animosity for years because she's been, even though she cleaned up, she still has like this hatred for her father, carrying it off for God knows how long. You know what I mean? Up until the point where he was dying. And so the reason why I came up to the attachment that he did that for Mary was when he went over to her house after the fact, and you have this kind of like moment where it was like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Technically it was, because what I love about that scene is because Rose gets a shitload of I know it sounds funny and I know I'm putting it that way.
Your daddy, now give me some.
Yeah, well, because but this is actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie when it comes to dialogue. He goes to see Mary. He tells her that her father died, and then he has what he's been seeing the entire time in this vision of Rose. Every person he sees has Rose's face, and Rose's face is on there, but it's the voice of Mary. Right. I don't know if you noticed that when she was talking. Yeah. And what he apologizes to Rose and to Mary at the same time there.
Yeah, because he kind of recognizes them both as the same.
Exactly. And does anybody remember after he apologizes? Does everybody remember what Mary / Rose say? No, but a little bit before that. She says,
you're causing your own suffering or something like that.
It's to that effect. Yeah. It was like, it's okay. No one asked you to suffer. That was all on you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was true on both occasions because he started putting himself responsible for Mr. Burke because of Mary. Yeah. Just like how he felt responsible for Rose's death. For, she was asthmatic. He didn't kill her, though he has this guilt where he felt like he did. You understand what I'm saying? But he was doing his job. It just sucks. Some days you just do shit right, and then some days things just go wrong. You know what I mean? Do you guys believe in that?
No, yeah. No, actually, after having this whole, conversation, it makes me understand the movie, even more so because going back to the conversations that I've had with other people who have been EMTs, they say the same thing, and it's like
it's work.
You feel like you're in this position to save lives.
Yeah, and some days you have a bad day.
Yeah, and sometimes some lives are unsavable, but that falls on you because you feel like that was your personal responsibility.
Because I feel that people have this, and this is true. Life is precious, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes when your precious life is on some person's hands, he could be having a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, it sucks. But we're human, and that's what makes us all human. But like I said, that ending is always so gold to me because that goes to show you that what he's been doing, it was all self-inflicted. He was going through his own personal hell. Nobody told him to go there. You know what I mean? Because all the other EMTs, it didn't bother John Goodman's character. He was with him when that happened. It's not because he's heartless. Asking for beef lo mein and then wanting half fried chicken and fries later.
I mean, Nicholas Cage has nothing to do with
it. No, but what I'm saying is that it's another day for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have quit it if he wanted to, but he never did.
And he never did because he knew that he was valuable for himself. Yeah. And that's what I mean. But also goes to show you that all his pain is all self-inflicted. Because who's to stop him from walking out of work? Don't go to work. You really don't want to go to work. Don't go to work. Say you quit. Everybody knows that you can do that. Yeah. He put it on the lives of someone else.
He had a nice apartment, though.
Yeah, he did. And that would have fucked them all up.
You don't want to lose that.
No, you don't. Like, that would suck.
Like, I would wake up every morning and be like, oh, I don't want to go to work. And then, like, look at my apartment and be like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Now, let me... What
No.
Now, let me ask you one more question. Now that we've talked way too much about this movie...
Yeah, we talked a lot.
We talked way too much about this movie. I just want to ask you, Did your 6 bump up in any way? No, still the same?
It's still the same.
That sucks. But hey,
I'm sorry, man.
But you did like it. Is this more on the good movie? This is more on the good movie side.
Yeah, I did like it, but you know what? It's just like I didn't.
But you could deal without it.
Connect with it.
You
bastard.
bastard.
I didn't connect with it. I'm sorry.
You're lucky. I still like you.
I connected with it.
Did you connect with it?
I definitely
did. No, did you really like it?
No, I really did.
Fantastic, man. It really moved me though in 1999.
Shame on you.
What do you think, Jeremy?
What, 1 out of 10?
No, I did not really review. I really don't do that. But is this good for you? Are we recommending this to the masses?
I would recommend it for anyone who appreciated anything along the lines of Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
or
it's
kids
on there. Or kids. It has
kids,
like this sense of realism there, where it's but it's a film that plays with your emotions and it also shocks you at times a little bit. Not like OD, but like it does. Like, you see some one of the things I always thought that was so fucked up is that guy on the ground that drags himself across the street and he has no legs.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets high and he sees that, it's freaky.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, outrageous though?
I was gonna say about the security guard at the hospital.
Oh, Gris, that's your boy?
Yeah.
Don't make me take off my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yo, all I want to know is that I need to find that book. You guys see
what
the
book was he reading? Actually, I want to ask you that.
It was Black Robe, White Justice. Oh. I don't think that's a real book, but he's like you could tell that he's one of those like pro-black characters.
Yeah, because it was funny because he said, "Don't make me take my shades off."
Yeah, don't make me take off my sunglasses. I don't know if you noticed it, but he did take off his sunglasses when Noel went to drink water. If you watch Nicolas Cage as he's walking behind him is Gris, and he takes off his sunglasses, and you're like, oh. And the reason why he took off his sunglasses was to throw Noel out. If you notice when he throws him out, he ain't wearing his sunglasses. That's why he says, "Don't make me take off my sunglasses." It's just a small thing, but John, I just want a real quick question. Since you are the whitest man here, are you interested in a book called Black Robe, White Justice?
No.
Oh man, come on, man. You know you want to read that book. But yeah, the Gris is a very interesting character.
I'm already reading, I still have to finish the Mike Tyson book I'm reading right now.
Good luck with that. Good luck
Actually,
with
it's a
that.
real book.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not playing with that.
It's a real book or a real good book? I know it's a real book. He's saying he's reading it.
He wrote it?
Black Robe, White
Yeah.
Justice.
It is a real book?
Or I think so. I don't know. I'm starting to think somebody wrote it for him.
Oh, I need to read that shit.
Crayon?
Hold on, real quick.
That's messed up.
Santi just confirmed that there is really a book called Black Robe, White Justice.
Yep, by Bruce Wright.
All right, I'm definitely gonna read that. I want to. That means only $2.
Yeah, $2.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up. Let's see what I gotta see. There's the books and things that people watch on TV are not there by mistake. Just put it like that.
It came out in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh, 2009.
Yes.
No, that's impossible. The book that version of the book probably came out in 2009 because he's reading it in 1999.
Yes, on that book's gotta be older than that.
But anyway,
Or maybe the book was made specifically for the movie because some people.
that's impossible. The movie was made in 1999.
Exactly.
So how did that book come out in
How
2009?
inside
Well,
with the
hold
movie
on.
because
I got a
if you look
question.
at How I Met Your Mother, all of the
I know-
websites on
Yeah.
How I Met
Well,
Your Mother
actually,
are
I actually been on Facebook and actually.
Bestsellers is 2009.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
it.
like,
Since 2009.
I've been on Facebook and actually seen a prank that people have done. They actually take
Sellers since-
funny book
Yeah,
covers on
since
the train
2000,
station
but
to
that means it
read.
didn't come out then.
I seen one that said 1001 like cockpits or whatever. The guy's like reading it in the subway train. And people are just
Yeah.
looking at the reactions. Like they just made up
Oh, no,
funny
no, no.
titles.
1987 it came
Yeah,
out.
that book is old.
1987.
Yeah. But I think we've all loved talking about Bringing Out the Dead. And I'm glad you guys watched it. I thank you again for watching yet another movie that I'm suggesting. I'm glad that you guys have the wanting to just watch something blind. That I get a kick out of that because that's how we, grew up watching movies. That's how I grew up watching movies, blindly watching stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So without further ado, here comes the best part. I got shirts. We got shirts. We all got all kinds of shirts. You could get the podcast logo T-shirt, Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
It's
give
only
me that.
$15.
I'll take it.
$15.
$15.
Yes, we got them in pink, black, red, all kinds of colors that you want. Okay, podcast logo T-shirt.
Do you have maroon? Do you have
Yes,
maroon?
I can probably. I think we have maroon.
I'll take
there,
a pink
too.
one.
Yes, a pink logo shirt. But you can get one if you just email me at whatthehellpcast@yahoo.com. And I will, just tell me which shirt you want, what kind you want. You can even get sweatshirts, hooded shirts, with all kinds of ways that you want. So just email me when you can, and I'll, tell you a price.
I will.
I'll tell
I'm
you how you
doing
can
it
get
right now.
Shit.
What?
I'm doing it right the hell now.
Yes, do it now, please. Thank you. Because we need to spread movie awareness one shirt at a time. And also, I want you to follow me on Facebook.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Instagram.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Twitter.com/TheHellPcast. You can also go on SoundCloud and YouTube and follow me right there. Subscribe to What the Hell Did We Just Watch? Question mark, exclamation point. You could do it on the search engine like that if you ever feel like it, because you don't really have to do that, but it'll come up. Probably about halfway typing it'll come up. There's very, very plenty of activity going out there. I would like to know what you guys think of Bringing Out the Dead. Do you think Jeremy was full of shit, or do you say, hey, he knows more than Emotional Lou about Bringing Out the Dead? And
What?
You never know.
How was I full of shit?
Yeah, you could be, or you could just be the smartest man in this room.
I'm full of soju.
No, you can. It's full of soju. If you want to say Outrageous Old was full of shit, or he didn't talk enough, maybe on the next episode he'll talk more often. We'll see what's up. If you think Not So Good Looking John and you want to see what he looks like, yeah, well, maybe for a next episode. But trust me when I tell you, you're not gonna like what you see. We're trying really, really hard to make this show televised, and we're trying to. Maybe that's why. That's actually. I'm gonna just put it out right now. We are raising money by selling T-shirts to make this not so good-looking man a very good-looking man, to put him on the show
Well, the thing
televised
is,
when it happens.
Steve, get Lucille.
What bothers me so much about not so good looking John is that he's always nude. And
Yes.
I wish he would put some clothes on.
Yes, please. I do have a naked man on my another show that he's been on my 1999 episode. He's Steve. He's always naked. He's Steve the Naked Man. I'm just saying. It's horrible. It's a thing. So please.
Not you, Steve.
No, not you, Steve. I have a friend. His name is Steve, and he's done my last 2 episodes naked, and I just can't stand it. So, but hey, I've been friends with him for about 15, 16 years, so I can let him do whatever he wants. He's a very hairy man too, but. You followed my social media sites. You followed everything. Please comment, like, share. Let me know what you think. What's the status of Not So Good Looking John? See where it's going on. If you want to see other people on the show, let me know. Could we miss Don Esteban? Santi just likes to be here. I think he's my groupie or something. But you got to tell him to. He's too young for all these movies. But without further ado, I think I've talked to you way too much. I just want everybody in this room to please say peace out, yo. I know I'm an old ass man. I'm doing this old school shit, but come on, people. Come on, just be with me. There was one episode that everybody said it in unison. I'm there. I'm getting there, man. Just listen. Listen to the episode for Chasing Amy. Everybody said it all in unison. I was very happy.
I'm angry that you're chasing Amy without me.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I'm
stud.
a little pissed off about that too.
I would let you know I'm doing a Kevin Smith if you guys want to come to Cindy's house.
View Askew movie.
I'm showing Josh and Gabby
Oh.
the Kevin Smith universe. They've never seen that one movie. They saw Chasing Amy and they loved it, and I'm waiting for them to get together where I'm going to show them Clerks. So if you want to be a part of that show, just let me know and I will tell you when that happens. It was supposed to happen tomorrow, but they canceled. I'm gonna edit that out. I don't want to tell people that I didn't want to come to my show. What the fuck that? Fuck that shit. So again, let's give it another try. But I'm not gonna say. Nobody want to say peace out, yo. So please, can someone just say, come on, say goodbye, Jeremy. Please say goodbye.
Bye, nigga.
Yo. Ooh, outrageous. Oh, please say goodbye. Please, 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 please. If you can't say goodbye, then we can't finish this fucking show. So please say goodbye. Oh, then you get. He's high, too much soju, whatever the hell that shit is called. But please, no, he's the last one. He outrageous. Not so good looking John is always the last to go. You know, I'm sorry to say that. So just say just say goodbye. Santi, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. There you go. So just say bye-bye, all.